Hey guys, this is Jody from Jody's Touch of Style, and I'm here to talk about another kind of scarf. This is a really big, long scarf. One that you could actually consider a wrap. It could also be called a blanket scarf. Usually a blanket scarf is more of a wool and thicker type. This one has a little bit of give. It's more lightweight. So let me show you a couple ways, actually more than 10 ways, that you could actually use this. I know sometimes I feel like it's too big and too cumbersome and I forget about it, but it can be a great scarf for many reasons. So let's start with the most obvious. The most obvious way is to wrap it around like a wrap, just like this. I mean, I can wear it even over a jacket. If you didn't love how your jacket looked, if you just wanted a little bit of oomph, you can wear it over the jacket just like this. Now, my stepmom especially will tell you that it gets annoying because it moves, it doesn't stay in place. So I have the answer, of course. There's a couple different things you can do. If you had this over a sweater or over a knit piece, you could always take some cute pins and use it to hold the scarf in place. Like I could even do this on my sweater. Put the pin through and then it would stay right there and it wouldn't move. But if you had like this leather jacket, you're not going to put a pin through that. You don't want to create a hole. There are these great pins that are magnets. And they're a pretty good, strong magnet. So you can put it through. I have it through the leather and through 2 layers of the scarf. And then it stays in place. Now this one's a decorative magnet. There are some that are just more of a plain one. See, that's how strong the magnet is. And that's a great option so you don't create a hole in your garments. Now another idea is a clip. And I have no idea where I got this clip, but it's a pretty good, strong clip. It's a pretty one. I wouldn't want to put this on the leather per se. I would put so that the scarf is on both sides so that it doesn't hurt the leather. But that could be one way to hold your scarf in place. Now I have another idea, and this is another kind of clip. This is my dad's tie clip, and I have a lot of these from him. And it doesn't have as many teeth in the clip part, so it wouldn't damage the leather as much, but you could easily use a tie clip to hold it in place. And it would be fun to have 2 different ones. You know, you're not going to have the same. You know, be a little unique and have one on one side and one on the other. It's almost like a button or decoration, and they don't have to be the same. They can be different. Another way to keep your scarf in place, if you don't want to use a pin, you don't really have anywhere, say you're wearing a sweater like this, you don't have anywhere to clip this to so it doesn't move, would be to try to hold this scarf in place is with a band. This is a hairband. I got one that matches pretty well so you wouldn't see it. You could certainly use a rubber band, but this is an easy way to make things stay in place. And you thought they were just for your hair. Ha! Pull it through like that, and then it should stay. You don't have a big knot that you had to tie, and now this will stay in place really nice that way. So if you don't want it so long and overpowering, you can actually make your scarf. This is a rectangle, but you can make it almost a square. The easiest way to do that is put it in half. Okay, that's pretty much a good square almost. And then once it's a square, make it a triangle. And so I'm going to take the end like this. And now, when I look at it the correct way, it's kind of a triangle. It's not a perfect square, but then again, we're perfectly imperfect, right? So once you have it in a triangle like this, you can use it as decoration for the back. Now, depending how big yours is, if you have a lot of leeway in the front, you could tie it. But that may not be enough. It may move around too much. And so, if that's the case, you can connect it to your jacket or to your sweater, whatever you're wearing, with those same tools that I showed just previously. A pin, a magnet, a clip, and that will hold it in place. So then another great way is I've put this in half, and then I'm going to half it lengthwise so it's not so big. And you could even do it again. And then to wear this on just one shoulder, on one side. Now, you can see it's a little short in the back here, so you would play around with the length that works. Maybe you want it full length, but you don't want it full width. And in that case, you can try it this way. Now, that could be too long. And so then you would take some of the inside, because I have such pretty decoration on the ends, I wouldn't want to cover up the ends. But take the inside and take some extra out. And then you could have it just on one side. Now this is a case where you would definitely want to somehow secure it. Even if you had it on a knit, it's going to move around too much. What you'd want to do here is even safety pins, just small little safety pins to hold it at the right length. And then when it's on, you're going to want to secure it in the front and the back. And the easiest way to do that is do it when the jacket's not on you. Take your jacket off, figure out where it's going to go, and then pin it on each side. And then it's your decoration. And because this is a scarf, you can wear it just like a scarf. Since it's pretty thick this way, you can fold it and or wrap it or roll it and make it a scarf around your neck. Lots of different ways to tie it. We've talked about 3 easy ones before, but let's just talk hypothetically that you're wearing a jacket that doesn't close all the way. Say it only closes here. Then these bigger scarves are great to wear to camouflage the fact that your jacket doesn't close, because it's going to take up a lot of real estate on the front of your body. And all I did was just tied a knot, just one little knot. It doesn't have to be close to your neck. It could be nice and low, but it's still covering the fact that maybe your jacket doesn't close. Even if your jacket does close, it's a nice way to create some decoration in the front of your body. I'm just going to review one of the simple ways that I like to wear a scarf, one of my long rectangle scarves, because that's what this can be. If I roll it, and what I mean by roll is I'm twisting it. I twist both ends like this. That makes it so it's not as thick. And when I do that, then I can create a scarf that's not quite so big. Now I didn't roll it as much here right now just because I was lazy, but if you did, you can see that it's not so big and overwhelming around your neck. So this is exactly the kind of scarf that I always take when I travel, for a couple of reasons. Because it's big, it just can do so many things. So when I'm traveling, when I'm going through the airport, I will wear it around my neck, whether I, have it up close or try to pull it down if I'm too warm, or even if I'm really warm, I'll just have it around my neck like this. And then once I get onto the plane, if I'm really cold, I use this as my blanket. This will be over my body to help keep me warm. The other thing I use it for on the plane is a pillow. So I can fold it a lot and use it behind my neck on the plane instead of having one of those blow-up pillows. Now the great thing when you're traveling is that it also, instead of just being a scarf or a wrap, can be a sarong. It can basically be your bathing suit cover-up if you're going somewhere warm or if you're going where there's a pool. So because it's nice and big, you can make it a waist sarong and tie it or pin it, or you can have it be a sarong this way. Now granted, you could probably wear this as a dress, but I consider it more of a bathing suit. So you can get very creative with these kind of scarves. It may not work for every situation, but these can also be a belt. I took this and folded it a couple times lengthwise, so it's not thick, it's not bulky, it's nice and flat, and then you could easily tie it around and create a really pretty belt with it, especially if it was on something plain or even a dress, a little black dress, and this would be the interesting detail. Another way to make a really cool belt, especially with a dress or even a real tight skirt, is to create a belt where it's longer, it's asymmetrical, longer on one side, shorter up here. My mom did this in a post not so long ago, so I'm going to show you and recreate it with this scarf. Now my mom used a square one and it looked great, but we're going to make this rectangle one into basically a square, and it'll work pretty much just as well. So I folded mine, so it's a little bigger than a square, almost. And then you create a triangle with it. So this is basically what I did when I decorated my jacket. Create a triangle, put the prettiness on the outside, and then you can wrap it around your waist. Now, heck, you could wear this as your bathing suit cover-up too, but this is also very pretty as a belt on, like I said, a dress, even a straight skirt, because it's longer on one side and then just comes up on the other side where you've tied it. Now, you could decorate other things than yourself with this scarf, and let me tell you what I mean. So I took the long scarf and folded it a couple times lengthwise, and then I just roll it. I'm trying to make almost a cigar shape here. And then this would be a great way to decorate a hat. Let me show you. So if I had this wonderful hat and I wanted to add some pizzazz to it, I rolled this, put it around the brim like this, and then either you could pin it or you could tie it, and you would have that hang down the back. Now if you didn't like it hanging down the back, depending how thick your scarf is, you could even wrap it around or just have one end hang off. But it's a great way to add some pizzazz to any hat, especially the straw hats, just to give it some more color. You can decorate with it. You could decorate your purse. You know, when you have a small scarf, the kind that just go around the neck, how you've seen women tie that same scarf around their purse strap. Okay, well, you can't do that with this. But I found another interesting way that could work with a lot of totes, or more like just a regular bag, a regular purse. Take, for example, this one. It's kind of a tote. Pretty plain. I mean, it's pretty because it's metallic, but it doesn't have any decorations. But check this out. So I could, because I have such prettiness on my scarf at the ends, I could put it so that it was hanging there, and then stuff the rest of it in your purse. It could almost be a liner, like that. And then you're going to have other things in your purse. You're going to have your wallet and all your essentials in there. So it's going to hold it in place. And then you have a decorated purse. Now, we talked about decorating a hat, but heck, this could be your hat. Well, not a hat per se, but more like a headscarf. If you've seen a lot of women wearing headscarves lately, it's because they're just beautiful. And I don't know all the perfect ways to do it, obviously. But with a beautiful scarf like this, you could easily wear it around your head, whether it's to keep warm or just hide a bad hair day. So I came up with another couple ways to make the scarf into something else entirely. And the first thing is to make it into a bag. Let me show you. So you'd have to put it down on the ground, and you want to basically make it into a square. So I'm going to fold it in half like that. Then you take the ends that are farther away from each other and tie them in a knot. Now, if you're going to have something and actually use this as a bag, you might want to pin those ends, maybe with a safety pin, something to make it stay for sure, because the last thing you would want is to be carrying stuff and have it come untied and everything goes onto the ground. So I tied those ends, both ends, and pulled tightly. And that creates a nice little bag right in here. And I can hold it at the tops where I have the knots, and it's a cute little bag. Another great thing you can make with this is basically a kimono. You know, I showed you how to wear it over your shoulders like this. Well, you can do the same thing, and without having to attach it to anything, by making these ends tied together so it stays in place. Let me show you. So if you take it off, and this time you're going to tie the ends, the small ends together, the ends that were at your arm. And since I just had it over my shoulders, and you could see which ends were at the arms, that makes it a little easier. So I tied those ends. Now I'm going to tie these ends. And I'm just doing a quick double knot here. And that's where your hands will go through that hole and that hole. Like this. Now this one's a little long. I mean, this certainly goes down to my fingers. But if that was really annoying, you could actually pin it up here so that they wouldn't go quite as long. However was comfortable for you. But then it's not moving all over. It'll stay in place a little better. And you've created a kimono. So thanks for joining me with 10 plus ways to wear this exact same wrap, long, big old blanket scarf. Thanks.